Bra. Our next speaker is going to help us fill in give even more local flavor to these really big and important points that Thomas Hylland Eriksen just made. And our next guest is Halgeir Jensen. He is from Tromsø. He works with NAV, and he believes in the importance of welcoming newcomers to Tromsø by creating good places for them to be and to work. And so with that, I say velkommen. The yellow sign means you've got 3 minutes, and the red means 1. Okay.
Hello, Halgeir Jensen, as you see. To make sure, Troms is the county, Tromsø is the city. Okay. There are some chairs here for those who are standing. Det är mikrofon. Det är bra. Okay, thank you. Thanks. I have to go back a bit. Before, some years ago, in 2004, when I started in this business, there were not so many people, there were not so big diversity in Norway at that time. But something happened. We got a lot of money, we wanted to build and build and build, and we need more and more people. So we're going to address this a bit now, next minutes. But now, Norwegian Labour and Welfare Service, Job Center, National Insurance and Welfare and Social Service Office. That's where I work. And the department is EURES, European Employment Services. It was started 20 years ago in all over EU. As you can see, there are 22 advisors in Norway and nearly 1,000 in EU, EA. We are dealing with job market and job search. We are giving living and working information to people. We do that abroad. We have recruitment assistance, and we bring Norwegian employers with us to job fairs. Example, in 2008, we had 52 job fairs in Sweden where we attended to, once a week. That's a lot, bringing Norwegian employers. This one is from Zaragoza, the 17th of May. I'm just showing this because this is our national. And always, of all the pictures that we use, always good weather. So what we do at these job fairs, we have a stand, and we have information for 30 minutes to up to 1 hour that you're speaking about living and working in Norway. Talking about in general Norway, job market, how to find jobs before you start to work, what to do, employment issues, housing, accommodation, internet sites, other things just asked with other people. This was in 2 years ago, so we present what kind of people we are looking for. And as you can see here, there are educated people, people that we really need. Construction sector, highly skilled workers only, for instance. Skilled workers all the way. And we also tell honestly what we don't want to need. Because we already have unemployment in Norway. We have unskilled staff, unskilled workers. We have refugees who has never been at school, and they are the first to get the unskilled jobs because they have some extra money from the government. This is, well, okay. What we also give information to employers. Employers need to think before hiring from abroad to be sure that the work is happy and will stay, because there's no problem to get people to come here. What is difficult is to get them to stay, to be happy. Language skill. English is just okay. In line of work, to be a civilian. Will the employer give Norwegian language training? Will the employer pay for it? Education. What is good enough? Do we have to go on the top shelf? Second, okay. Will it be giving training at the working place so you can evolve? Is it a temporary or a permanent job? If it's a temporary job, you just bring the person in and say goodbye after 6 months. If it's a permanent job, you have to, as an employer, you have to do more to make sure that the person is happy. Who will pay the travel cost? And depending on what size of community you are staying in. In small places, you have to bring in the mayor, the doctor, the principal of the school, and so on. Housing. Should I, as an employer, give houses for the first month, or how long? And as Thomas said earlier, contact different local clubs, choirs. Check if there is a room for new members. Maybe some of you will start your own club. School and kindergarten. It's like a million things that you have, as an employer, you have to think of. Some numbers. Employed in Norway in the end of 2013, people between 15 and 74 years. The working force was 2.6 million. Norwegians stood for 2.2. And immigrants, 14%, 358,000 people. And you can see for yourself which groups are the biggest. On this one, it's the same numbers, but who contribute the most? Our neighbors. 76.3% of the Swedish and Danish and Finnish, Icelandic people are the busiest ones. EU, East Europe, West Europe, and Norwegian in the middle. Interesting. In Tromsø, in total nearly 40,000. Norwegians are 35,000. Immigrants, 12, as you said. So you see the numbers also. But here, you have Norwegian number 2. Yeah. What also is, this is quite highly skilled people. Are foreign workers needed in Norway and Tromsø? From 2012 to 2013, the number of jobs increased in Norway with 30,000 jobs. 80% was taken by foreigners. So I guess you already know the answer. Like I just showed you, in 2013, 14% of employees in Norway are foreigners, and 12 in Tromsø. Yes, we need foreigners. And you talked about students. It had been doubled in 9 years. Now it's 24,000 foreign students in Norway. 9 years ago, it was 12,000. And the funny thing now, for us who remember the 80s, now the Swedish are here. 10%. In the 80s, it was exactly the opposite. Norwegians went to Sweden. So we are very lucky to be in the Nordic country because you have more or less the same language. So it goes back and forth. A bit about unemployed immigrants in Norway. And here you see, Troms, only 4 point something are unemployed in Troms County. All of Norway are like 7%. So it's quite good to be a foreigner here. Unemployed in Tromsø, 15 to 74 years. In total, 2%. Norwegians, 1.7. immigrants, 4 divided in these numbers, 3.2 for EU, EFTA, and 5.2 for Asia and Africa and so on. Time. you forgot yourself. All right, thank you.
Okay, we have an expression in American English which is wow-wee. It's impressive. Thank you very much. I think Hallgeir Jensen did a very nice job of showing some of those big questions that you have to think about as an employer, but also how important those questions are to answer and how valuable the people who come to work with us in Norway are. But it's not only a work life that we have, there's also a social life, and which is equally important.